Alright everyone, welcome back. So we're back on the project here. Just kind of spent the morning cleaning up top here, vacuuming, sweeping up dust, clearing off dusty surfaces. Last time we were down here, Dad did a major grind down in the hold here, and on deck too. There's remnants from the hatch cleanup here. There he is, the grinding man himself.
Hey, not much of that today, thank God.
Yeah.
I had about enough of it the other day. It was pretty nasty.
Yeah, the grip going on.
Yeah.
Well, so today we're working down here in the hold. We're just about to get our bottom layer of CSM down.
CSM conforms pretty well to irregularities like that, as opposed to like a layer of 2408, which is bi-directional roving, or bi-directional cloth fabric. It's not roving, it's fabric. And so, yeah, the CSM is kind of a good layer to put down because of the random orientation of the strands. You can kind of pound it in there, and it really bonds well and stuff like that.
Yeah, it fills in all those crevices. And
Yep. So that'll give us a good base layer again, like we did on the other side, and then we'll be ready to start fitting up the other stringer. We have the pieces over there. We'll start getting those trimmed and then laminate them together. And tomorrow evening we should have this thing glued into place, I think, if we don't go fishing. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the weather was.
Focus on this, I think. Probably.
Yeah. We went out a couple days ago to go fishing, and we drove all the way out there, and it was nasty.
Yeah.
We took some video of it. You can't tell in the video. It always looks nice, but it wasn't. It was treacherous. So we basically spent about 6 hours that day just driving out there and looking around and deciding that we didn't want to get clobbered or, beat up too bad, and we looked around a few other places and came back in. So kind of a waste of day, but that's how it goes sometimes. So now it's trying to pick up where we left off.
So yeah, we've got our cloth on the back there. I guess we'll probably mix up some stuff here and get rolling before it starts condensating or something. Well, the day is young still.
Yeah, it's good right now.
1 o'clock.
It's cold out, but it's warm in here.
Alright guys, so we're getting rolling here. Poured up a nice hot batch of resin that started rolling out. We just got a 4.5 inch strip of CSM.
I'm focusing a lot on these corners right here, these radiuses, because this stuff is going to be permanent and locked in. This bulkhead, good chance it'll come out at some point in, our history with the boat. And so we're kind of like forward thinking, and we'll just put a couple layers of chop strand on this to kind of isolate our new work from this old bulkhead that's grease and oil infused, and that'll prevent any of these contaminants getting into our new work. And at some point it'll be easy just to tear this out forward and leave the existing stuff here. And so this is original tabbing into the hull that'll most likely stay, and so I'm just trying to tie it in well right here to prevent any moisture or anything that's going to wick out of this foam and on the hull from getting in underneath. And yeah, we're just trying to make it as tight as possible. very excited to get this other string right here.
Me too.
And get the cement poured back in and be comfortable again. Honestly, it's quite uncomfortable working on this rough surface.
All right, that looks pretty good, guys. Let that kick off and we'll be able to measure our next panel. That'll be exciting.
I'm just getting a couple layers on this forward bulkhead. Gotta put a little hunk on the back one too.
Yeah, one chunk there. Same thing.
Seal it off, a couple little spots there. There might be enough putty in there that I kind of have a gash right there. Just match those two edges up, I guess.
Yep.
You like?
Yeah, swing your end that way. That looks good.
Liking it?
Good. Good day.
I'm good.
Looking good, looking good. which way are we going with it? Does it matter?
Probably just flip it like this, right?
Ready?
No,
Are you on it backwards?
No one has any guide marks on
Nope.
this side.
I'm just gonna like put it on mine.
Lay up your corner, and I'll lay up this edge more or less.
Yep.
How are you?
Try not to roll it off the edge. I think this comes straight down.
Okay. There you go.
She'll move around. Just go to the other side and take a look, and we'll wiggle it about a little bit.
That needs to. That'll be flat, yeah.
This will be flat.
Okay, about like that, and go that way about a 1/4 inch. Good, good.
Still look good?
Looks good.
Three-quarter inch? Yeah, about 3/4. What's wrong, buddy?
Light getting in the way.
Huh?
The light getting in the way of my head. And this dry cloth was heavy, making bubbles along the edge.
Pizza time! What's your tip? Shit. That was weird.
I'll just stay on this side, I think.
Okay, which way you want to go? This way or this way?
Whatever's comfortable for you. You got the
Maybe
difference.
like this. Beautiful. Bring her down flat. Okay, right there. Okay. Whatever you're doing, just keep like pushing back a little too.
Okay.
I think my bottom is a little loose here, so you're very end. Yep. A little bit more. That's looking good right there.
You look good?
Yeah.
And the hair.
I don't remember how these were aligned up here.
And the hair low. Needs to come this way.
Okay, that seems the same here too, so.
And good here.
Now these two ends here should match up well, right?
Yeah, you look good up here now.
No, those shouldn't match up good right there. Should match up good over here.
These two should match up perfectly, yeah? Right here. If I recall correctly.
Yeah, I kind
right.
of got a bit of a gap right here on the bottom.
Go.
There. Nice, that's what we want, just like that. Beautiful.
Good?
I think so. Okay, if you could get a clamp here, and I can use this bigger one to stand here. Maybe let me snug it that way. There we go.
Alright everyone, round 2 of lining up the stringer. Pretty much doing the same thing we did with this one, but actually a little bit, maybe a little bit harder because we don't have a really good way to square them up. So we're just kind of like working through it here. Slow process, but gotta take your time with it and figure something out. Otherwise, you glue that stringer in, there's no squaring it up.
Yeah. It's not really such an issue of them being perfect this way, but the height more than anything. We want this floor to go down and be relatively level in relation to the rest of the vessel and not some weird slope or something, because most likely we'll be using this as a reference point in the future. We don't have any baseline reference point to go off, sadly. And so all we can kind of do is maybe try and like average distances and use the old eyeball, give it to the eyeball test, and I think at the end of the day we'll be close enough. So we did have some existing marks from the old stringer, and we're just assuming that it was probably within 40 degrees of being plumb, and so we just used those as a reference and went off them. They looked pretty good at the time. I think right now we're just kind of getting a couple of marks transferred over here, equidistant to this string, which is actually coming off the reduction gear off the coupling. It's centered on there with the plug, and the same thing back here on the tail shaft. And we'll put a block here, and then we can clamp our straight edge to that, our long aluminum angle that we're using for a straight edge, and we'll get the other end equidistant to the center line of the shaft in relation to the other stringer, and that at least gives us the top of the stringer relatively plumb, I guess you would say, up and down, and then we'll just work out the bottom. our hope is that the measurements are fairly close to the other side, and then we know that it should be relatively close. The other thing I suppose we can do is just pull a couple of angles off the bilge right here. This angle right here, and check it over here, because it does change, and so if they're relatively close, then it should be fine. Once again, it's not like a super critical thing. This isn't like, you know, a high tolerance machined part or anything, but we would like it to be fairly accurate, because if we have a good reference to use later to level off of, you know, when we're doing bulkheads or anything else in here, we have a lot to do in here. That'll make our life easier later on. It always does. So, that being said, we shall carry on. I'm excited to get the stringer back in and feel like we're moving forward again.
Yeah, come together.
So we'll gather up some more stuff to throw down here in our way and start measuring and marking and scratching our heads and see where we end up.
We laid up our stringer here last night, the laminate in between, and sandwiched them together. This is our clamping setup here. We put heavy weight in the middle first to kind of keep it from bowing in the middle, or cupping in the middle upwards, and then clamp the edges. And had some squeeze out of resin, as you can see, along the edges here. Same as the last time. Pretty happy with the results, Dad?
Yeah, I think it looks good. Not as much as a scramble last time. Last time we were kind of scrambling for, well, I guess we kind of overlooked the whole clamping part of it. We had a bunch of weights that we brought down here, and yeah, it wasn't really enough.
We thought they'd be sufficient, but they didn't.
Nowhere near.
They didn't hold it down.
So we had to scramble around for clamps and run up to the store and grab a handful of them, and yeah.
Needless to say,
it went together fine.
This time.
But this time we were a little more prepared on the back end of things. Yeah, quick trim on this won't take a whole lot. Trim these edges, get them flushed up. I'm not sure what to do about this one. We should drop it in there and get a good idea where it's going to sit before we mark it and trim it. That's probably the wise thing to do.
I think that's what we do.
Yeah.
I think that's the play.
I'll just knock the edge off real quick.
Yeah.
Or at least in a couple 3 spots.
Yeah, nice thick layer in there. Looks good.
So most of these clamps are loose now. That's a good sign, because what's happening is polyester resin shrinks about 3%, I believe. And so even though these clamps were snugged up when we left, now it's shrunk together. And I think that's a good thing. Yeah, that was nice to get that done. That was a big step here. Got a couple of decent days of weather. Still got a kind of a persistent leak from over here. A couple of scuppards on forward, or couple of scuppers from up forward that we weren't able to get at the time, and I think they're still leaking just a little tiny bit of water, just enough to be annoying and goof us up. So might try and attack those real quick here. But it seems dry in there today, so we can probably get this thing tabbed too.
Yeah.
And then it won't matter at that point. All right, just back from a quick lunch break / supply run. So we had grab another gallon of putty and also some pipe clamps. We can span across those two stringers and kind of lock them together. We'll cut a piece of wood to go in between, and then we'll put the pipe clamp over the top, and we can tighten it down, and it'll hold them in place real good. These guys were like 2 inches short, but we also had some short ones too, so we just grabbed a coupling to put them together, and now our lengths will be a-okay. Our long ones, of course, are too long, and they hit the old fiberglass down there and wouldn't go low enough, so this should work okay. I think we'll be all right, barely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should be just right. Is it actually just bent a little bit? It looks like it got hit right there and pushed out. There she goes. That'll
Not
work.
much on it, but don't need too much force anyway.
Won't take much.
Pinching against wood, so that'll work.
So we're in. Looks pretty good. Just need to trim the top down. So we'll get it all squared up down there, I guess, and get it bedded into some putty, and then after it's all tabbed in and everything, then we can just match it off the other side. Then we can get them both nice and even, accurate. So yeah, looks good.
Yeah.
Get
We're
our stuff
excited to
back
glue
on.
it in.
Yeah. So we're just gonna cut some spacers out of a 2x4 to span this area right here, and then throw a clamp across the top. So that's gonna pull this in tight to this one and also keep it from kicking out on us. So that should work real good. We were planning on gluing this down this afternoon. It's early evening now, but it's raining out and can just feel the humidity just spiking. So I think we're gonna hold off till tomorrow when we can get an early start. This side, it's not really sweat. The hull isn't sweating. You've still got a little leak. It's not a bad leak now, but it's persistent enough that it is it's working its way down here, and it looks like the hull's sweating, but it's just kind of like spreading from this foam, slowly coming down.
Yeah.
And I know that it's just going to sabotage us if we try and do this tonight, so there's no use trying to put it in right now. Yep. So we're just going to get these blocks made up. Everything's all ground down, prepped, wiped down with acetone. We'll just give it another wipe in the morning. I think we'll drop our dehumidifier down here tonight, and that's going to help pull a lot of this moisture out of the air and capture it.
Yeah, we got all our pieces of fiberglass cut too for the inside tab or the outside tabbing here.
Yeah.
So we'll glue our stringer in, spread the squeeze out into a fillet, and just go ahead and tab up. We're thinking, get it all sealed off.
Yeah. Try and knock it out in one shot.
So yeah, we'll start cutting some blocks, I guess.
Yeah. We're pretty much done fiddling around. Just cut a couple of spacers here. Pipe clamp going across the top. Got one down in the bottom here. Holding it where it needs to be. It's got a slight bow in it right here, so this is actually pushing this part out a touch. And then back behind Matt, we just have the same thing on the bottom. Brace coming off the stringer up there, pushing the bottom in tight.
Yeah, right
Back
here is just
there.
like,
I don't know, I think we're in pretty good shape. I think we'll think about mixing up some resin, wet out this edge, and get a big old couple plate full of putty and go to it.
time to roll.
Slather it on there. We'll just dump a bunch on top of on the bottom of the stringer like we did last time. Drop it into place, and then we'll come back in and pack it in there as best we can, and clean up was basically the inside edge down here. So we'll throw this on here, probably right on the seam. It kind of bowed on these seams a little bit, so we'll just come in right there. A little spacer block here to...
Nothing to throw on your clamp.
Yeah. And let's see. Shouldn't take too much to... How's it look now? Straight as an arrow, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
Probably not. That's okay. I think we can live with it. Yep. Go ahead. All right, well, I don't know. I don't know how much we want to fiddle with this stuff. Probably pretty good. The important thing is the bearing strength of these. That's where everything is going to come down on top of that. That's where we want the strength, so. The tabbing and the reinforcing on the sides will make it all good and strong. We'll have some supports that come off in here. The bulkheads will be tied in all the way down to the bottom of these stringers right here, so that's going to give it a lot of support that way. It's going to be beefy when it's done. All right, yeah. I'll give this a quick wipe with some acetone, and I think we're good to go, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Mask up, get some putty running.
Okay, the hole is wet now, so. Alright, there we go. Be warned. How does this thing match up?
I think so.
Looking good, guys. Just loading this edge really heavy with putty. You want it to squeeze out, and then we'll clean up the edges. A lot easier just to go heavy and deal with squeeze out than it is to have to try and mash it underneath. So my first pass was just to make sure that I got any holes or any dips or everything loaded up good. So hopefully we won't have any voids in this. And looks real good. Now we're just coming in with the heavy layer. You can see how it changes colors as it starts to do its thing.
nice peak. Squeeze out both sides. You can press it down.
Hopefully. Hopefully, anyways.
Trust. You got this.
Did you make the same amount as last time?
No, that's not all.
Oh.
One more batch.
Huh?
One more batch.
Oh, all right.
Like 300 grams.
Yeah, good. That should be about right then.
Got all your pre-voids filled.
Yep.
Nice technique.
Like that?
Yeah.
I've developed that from years of practice.
Oh, looks like you did more already.
Yep.
I shall go mix some more. Don't go anywhere. I'll turn you can, Dad.
Oh.
Yep.
I probably should have ordered 2 more of those.
You did.
Huh?
You did.
Oh, I think I only got 1.
Looking good. Looking good.
Chicken? All right. Now the tricky part.
Yep.
So if we can just get the, just come in. Right?
Alright. Are we ready?
Yep. So just come over slow and just kind of watch where I'm at
Yep.
as far as your height. And let me get my leg over, I guess, and then we'll see what happens.
Whoop.
Dirty dog. Well, that was unexpected and rude.
Good over there?
I'm good. Bring it right down on your 2x4. Twist your bottom in. There we go.
Touchdown?
Yep. Well, I think that probably damaged something. Like my hearing. Just kidding.
Tops first?
Yeah, just let me get a loose clamp there.
Press down.
So I think it's probably settling in. Yeah.
Do we need to wiggle it? That's
Oh, yeah. Good squeeze out.
squeeze out action.
Yeah, I guess I should get this in here. Watch your ears while I bang on this for a second. I think it is, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, looking good. Now it's got a system of levers.
Pulleys and levers with a clamp in the way.
System of levers and pivot points. Yeah, lock it down. Nice. Yeah. So as long as it doesn't like float up on us.
Yeah, that would be a bad thing.
That would be annoying. Let's have your board right there, man.
Like it's tight there, huh?
Yeah. Oh no, that was going back there, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
And this plant doesn't have anything, it doesn't need to be pretty stuff, I guess. Down a hair because of that thing. There we go. That's what was happening up forward there. We're a little floaty back here, huh?
Well, it's tight on the inside or the outside, but
Yeah, I think it's tight over here. I think we had a bit of a gap back here.
yeah, we did. Must be down.
That's why we got putty.
Yep. Guys, I'll just have to watch from the overhead view. Can't really get a good angle down in the hole.
Nope, not much to see, folks.
Clean up that squeeze out and start dabbing away.
Make sure we push it in and hopefully we get all the gaps filled.
Be happy days.
Outside here.
Which is the inside.
This is the inside. Oh, yeah.
Guys, just fiberglassing away here. Mixing up another batch of putty just for the fillet on the back side. Dad's up there tabbing in over the wet putty before it kicks and gels.
Looking good. I feel the strength building already.
I'd stick you guys down in the hole, but it's a bit more hard this time because I'm working on the putty. Last time it was all kicked, and I just worked my way back.
That's gonna see my arm in the way anyways, probably.
Pretty much. I think that's all I captured the last time, so. But yeah, anyway. Lots of tabbing, lots of filleting to go, so. There'll be a lot of open space to capture on film.
All right, everyone. Stringers in. Woohoo! That's
Thumbs
the way
up.
we started. Hey. Well,
Yeah.
actually not entirely. Still got the back piece to go. We might need another laminate panel before we can do that, so we'll just take that as it comes. But today we're just gonna kind of tidy up first. Well, it's a disaster down here, as it usually is after a big laminate party.
So today we'll just, well, these braces just knock right out, and start just a quick tidy up, like Matt said, quick prep on the inside edge, and we'll get that tabbed in. We'll get that forward bulkhead tabbed in, and then we can start installing some of the cross pieces, start fabricating that. So.
Yeah, I guess
Feels good to be making some progress on this.
It does.
Getting that stringer in was kind of the big deal. The bulkheads will be kind of the same. I don't want to say they're very stressful, but just when you're kind of wrestling around big pieces like that, and you gotta get them glued into place. You always kind of worry about time a little bit.
Yeah, we have just a little bit of water that's been cooling behind that stringer right there. Drips from up there, comes out of the foam, so we're thinking it's probably the two scuppers. There's like one right here and one in right there. And then there's another one that would end up probably over in here somewhere. So we're pretty sure that's the main culprit of this water leaching in. Big old crack on coming through it, just like the aft scuppers were. All right, well, it looks good, guys. I'm gonna start tidying up here.